Hi, this is Brad Peebler with the Foundry NAB 2016. With me today is Kim Libreri, CTO,
Hello.
Epic. Kim, how are you?
Not bad. How are you, Brad?
I'm also not bad. Kim, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. There's been obviously Epic game company. Everybody knows who Epic is. Here you are at NAB. There's a lot of talk this week about virtual reality.
Right.
Your background, you come from the film industry. You and I have been in computer graphics for far too long.
Quarter of a century now, isn't it? I think probably a quarter of a century.
It's I've done 22 NABs, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But I think we both have seen sort of a convergence happening. You've been on the forefront of it with your work previously, kind of straddling film and games. Do you see VR as sort of a catalyst to accelerate that?
You know, I think everybody who makes entertainment sees VR as a new way to entertain people, and you know, it's because it's so new. Nobody really has the magic ingredients to make something great. So I think both sides of both the gaming industry and the film industry and more traditional entertainment formats are thinking that, hey, this is a good place to play. As we know in the visual effects world, computer graphics is what has been sort of powered the blockbuster over the last 20 odd years, and a lot of them techniques now are applicable to real-time computer graphics.
So recently I saw a video with you in it highlighting some technologies related to the real-time engine, and particularly character rendering. Can you give us a little rundown, a high level of that project and kind of what we might expect to see from those technologies in the future?
Okay, we did a little project with our friends at Ninja Theory and a couple of other different companies that specialize in character rigging and performance capture, cubic motion, three lateral. A whole bunch of people came together to try and see, hey, can we get close to crossing the uncanny valley in real time with a live performance? So what we took advantage of is over the last couple of years, we've been putting a bunch of effort into our games and our game engine technology to be able to produce better looking digital humans. We have new skin shaders, better eyes, better hair. So we thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we, instead of just doing a normal cinematic, which is what we traditionally would do with showing off this kind of rendering, let's do it live to remind people that this is a game engine, and also to catalyze people to think about, could virtual reality be a live performance art form where you have actors or singers or any sort of performer that perform directly to millions, thousands, whatever, of people at home, that they experience the same experience. So it was just the beginning of, hey, let's show that you can actually do a pretty good digital human in a game engine with the power of Unreal Engine, and a cool partnership of a bunch of companies done over, I think we did the whole thing over about 7 weeks.
It was phenomenal. I recommend everybody check it out. The rendering quality, I think, far surpasses most of what I've seen from offline renderers, frankly, in recent history. I mean, obviously you can reach a different level of quality, but there's a certain amount of artistry behind it as well. But it was stunning.
Thanks. I think honestly, people are pretty forgiving if they know it's interactive and they're taken away by the moment and entertained. I think that they're quite forgiving as to how things look. We can do some pretty sophisticated rendering. We were very lucky that Ninja Theory had worked with three lateral over the last 6 months to build a digital version of that character. So there was a face rig that had the usual 500 and odd blend shapes, and they had a fax session at three lateral, and then we were using cubic motion's facial technology to drive the face live.
So you've spent a lot of time on the film production side, and now quite a bit of time on the interactive production side. Do you think I think a lot of people who are not in the industry of games, this audience probably mostly on the post-production side, don't understand the amount of effort required to create an asset, and I think it's getting better. Do you think we're getting to the place where the tipping point where the pre-production work on a real-time asset is light enough now that you can start to do real-time production realistically at the film level?
I do think that now there are awesome content creation packages like Mari. The fact that you can actually run an Unreal shader while you're painting that asset and it comes out looking very, very close to what it's going to look like in the engine definitely saves time. There's still a lot of craftsmanship that goes into it, but it kind of feels like the early 1990s all over again, where the sky's the limit. Innovation is what it's all about. People want to see new things, and this combination of instant gratification and a lot of the techniques that we've learned over the last 2 decades is pretty cool. It's a pretty awesome time.
So on a personal level, of all the VR experiences that you've done at work and outside, what excites you most about the possibilities of VR?
I just like people being entertained. I love making stuff that people go, wow, that is amazing. You know, the character stuff is, we're beginning to work out what that takes. Obviously, if it's not a live-driven character, Senua was driven by Mel, the Ninja Theory's actress. She's actually their editor as well, but she was driving that performance. When that becomes something that's not live, then you've got to start thinking about artificial intelligence and how you blend between the different animations. So there's some pretty exciting stuff I think that the whole industry has to start researching, is to work out how do you make an AI character that was originally built for normal game logic, normal gameplay, shoot at it, it ducks behind cover, or it comes and attacks you, or throws a grenade at you, into something that actually can hold a performance and a piece of dialogue, and backwards and forwards between the viewer, because you get so close to these characters in VR that you got to think a little bit differently. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, at GDC, I had the opportunity to go to the Epic booth and experience the content creation tools, the layout tools, and I found that to be very compelling. It seemed like the kind of perfect use case. Where do you see that going as time progresses?
Initially it started out that you've got an artist that's trying to build a space, and they're doing this and this and this and this and this all day long, and then you realize that actually the most natural place to work out whether something looks good and is laid out, and you understand the depth cues within the environment, is to actually do it in VR. So it was actually Tim's the one who's been pushing Mike to have this amazing vision of like, well, let's start doing things that are natural, move things, scale them, pick them, move them, maybe even light in VR eventually. So we'll see what people find useful, and it's one of the great things about VR. It's a new thing every week. Yeah.
Well, Kim, thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate it, and keep up the good work. I'm a big fan, as I think everyone at the Foundry are. So, cheers. We'll be talking to you again soon.